These are the shocking paychecks of Jason Statham. Jason could have bought a private island in the Bahamas with his earnings in The Expendables. And with The Beekeeper movie alone, he earned enough to buy a Bugatti La Voiture Noire. Crazy, right? Before this film, Jason Statham was making money the only way he knew how, by hustling on the streets. He wasn't trained as an actor, but his real-life experience of selling knockoff goods made him perfect for his role as Bacon in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Director Guy Ritchie loved his authenticity, but since Statham was a complete unknown, his paycheck for the movie was just $6,937. It wasn't much, but the film became a cult classic, grossing $28.1 million worldwide. Though that was just the beginning. Guy Ritchie had one more job for Statham, this time with Hollywood heavyweights. Riding high on the success of his first movie, Guy Ritchie brought Statham back for his next film, Snatch. This time he played Turkish, an underground boxing promoter who gets in deep trouble with a ruthless gangster after recruiting a bare-knuckle fighter played by Brad Pitt. Unlike his first film, where Statham was part of a large ensemble, Snatch gave him a lot more screen time, proving he had the charisma to carry a movie. The film had a much bigger budget, $10 million, and earned a whopping $83.6 million at the box office. Now, you would think Statham earned a big buck, but he didn't. He received $18,000 for his successful role. Then came The Transporter, the movie that would change everything. Before The Transporter, Hollywood wasn't sure if he could carry an action movie on his own. But French filmmaker Luc Besson, the mastermind behind The Fifth Element, saw Statham's potential. The movie followed Frank Martin, a professional transporter who delivers packages, no questions asked. But when he breaks his own rule and opens a package, he finds himself entangled in a high-speed, bullet-flying conspiracy. This was Statham's first time leading a big-budget action film, and he was all in. He spent months training in martial arts, stunt driving, and fight choreography to ensure he did most of his own stunts. The film had a $21 million budget and was a decent success, pulling in $43.9 million at the box office. Statham's paycheck, a massive jump to $750,000. After the success of the first film, a sequel was inevitable, and Statham negotiated a major raise. This time, Frank Martin found himself in Miami, transporting a young boy whose wealthy parents become the target of a dangerous bioterrorism plot. The film amped up the action, featuring insane car chases, death-defying stunts, and even a fight scene inside a private jet. While critics had mixed reviews, audiences loved it, pushing the box office to $85.1 million worldwide, nearly double the first film. For Statham, the biggest victory was his paycheck, $2.5 million. Thought $2.5 million was a lot of money? Just wait till you hear what he earned in the third and final Transporter movie. The Transporter 3 film saw Frank Martin back in the driver's seat, this time transporting a mysterious woman across Europe while dodging international criminals. Though the film wasn't as well received as the previous two, it still made $109 million worldwide, making it the most successful in the series. And Statham. He cashed in big, earning a whopping $10 million for this single movie. But his next movies would take things to a whole new level. More fights, bigger explosions, and crazier stunts. If you thought The Transporter had wild action, Crank took things to an insane extreme. Statham played Chev Chelios, a hitman who gets poisoned and has to keep his heart rate up, or he'll die. That means he's constantly running, fighting, stealing cars, and doing anything possible to keep his adrenaline pumping, including an outrageous public scene with his girlfriend in the middle of Chinatown. The movie was fast, crazy, and completely over the top, but fans loved it. On a small $12 million budget, it made $42.9 million worldwide. The earnings of Statham? $3 million. But if you thought the first Crank was insane, the sequel cranked things to an entirely new intensity.
My name is Chev Chelios, and today I didn't die.
This time, Chev has his heart stolen and replaced with a battery. To stay alive, he has to shock himself constantly, with jumper cables, power stations, and even by rubbing up against strangers for static electricity. It was completely ridiculous, but that was the point. Fans who loved the first movie got more of the same, and while High Voltage didn't make as much money, $34.6 million worldwide, Statham almost doubled his paycheck to $5 million. By now, he was making serious money as an action star. but he was about to get an even bigger payday. In 2010, Sylvester Stallone decided to bring together all the biggest action stars for one explosive movie, The Expendables. This was a dream team of action legends. Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis, Jet Li, and more. And guess who was Stallone's right-hand man? Jason Statham. Playing knife-wielding ex-SAS soldier Lee Christmas, Statham got to team up with his childhood heroes and take part in some of the biggest action scenes of his career. The first movie was a huge hit, making $274.5 million at the box office. Fans loved seeing all their favorite action stars together, and Statham got some of the best fight scenes. His reward? A massive $6 million paycheck. But that was nothing compared to what came next. For the sequel, things got even bigger. More stars joined the cast, including Chuck Norris and Jean-Claude Van Damme. Statham's character had even more action, including a brutal fight against Scott Adkins. The movie was another huge success, making $315 million worldwide, and Statham's paycheck jumped to $10 million. But if you thought $10 million was a lot, just wait. Statham's next payday skyrocketed, even as the franchise faced its biggest challenge yet.
Great to have you back. No better place to be.
We were close once. We started this whole Expendables thing together, but we had a falling out.
What are you gonna do? Reload.
By the third movie, Statham was firmly Stallone's second in command. But the movie tried to introduce a younger team, which didn't sit well with fans. Still, Statham had one of his craziest stunts yet, a scene where his truck crashes into a river, and he barely escapes drowning. Even though The Expendables 3 didn't do as well as the other two movies, it earned just $214.6 million worldwide. That's $100 million less than the second movie. Statham still got paid. The insane amount of $15 million, to be exact. And with all these paychecks combined hitting $39 million, he was now one of the highest paid action stars in the world. However, his biggest payday ever was still ahead, because nothing could prepare him for the record-breaking paydays that came with Fast and Furious. This franchise wasn't just popular, it was a global box office juggernaut, and Statham was about to cash in big time. Statham's first appearance in the franchise was just a cameo. At the end of Fast and Furious 6, he was revealed as Deckard Shaw, the brother of the previous villain. In just one short scene, he set up the events of Furious 7 and left fans dying to see more. Since this was just a teaser for the next movie, his paycheck was relatively small, $750,000. But don't worry, his payday was about to skyrocket. In Furious 7, Statham played Deckard Shaw, a ruthless ex-military operative out for revenge after his brother was left in a coma. He went toe-to-toe with Vin Diesel, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and the rest of the Fast crew, pulling off some of the best action scenes in the entire series. The movie was an emotional roller coaster, as it was Paul Walker's final film, but it also became the highest-grossing Fast and Furious movie of all time, making $1.5 billion worldwide. And Statham, he cashed in big, earning $15 million for his first full appearance in the series. But that wasn't the biggest paycheck he got from the Fast and Furious franchise. In Fate of the Furious, Statham's character took a surprising turn. He went from villain to anti-hero, and fans absolutely loved it. One of the most talked about scenes in the movie? Deckard Shaw fighting his way through a plane full of armed guards while protecting a baby. It was hilarious, action-packed, and became one of the franchise's most iconic moments. The movie made $1.2 billion worldwide, and Statham earned the biggest paycheck yet, $20 million. After dominating Fate of the Furious, Statham took things to the next level. The franchise decided to give him a spin-off movie. The movie paired him with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and the two spent the entire film bickering, fighting, and eventually teaming up to stop a superpowered villain played by Idris Elba. With a $200 million budget, Hobbs & Shaw was one of the most expensive Fast and Furious movies ever, and it pulled in $760 million worldwide. Statham's paycheck? $15 million. I'm on a mission to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of April. Can you help me reach that goal? Thank you.